Hey everybody, welcome back to L&B Outdoors. My name's Lee. I appreciate y'all stopping by. Today we're going to get started back on our TO20. For y'all that haven't seen that, go back into our channel and find the first episode where we get this tractor running. It was sitting for about 10 years and we're going to try to continue working on it today. We got the exhaust manifold welded back up. We're going to get that slapped back on. And we're even going to try to do some road test, if you will, or function test and drive it around a little. So y'all stay tuned. So as you can see, we still got our exhaust manifold off. Carburetor laying down there. We're going to clean all this up. We've got some wrapping to go over that exhaust manifold where it was welded to maybe help secure it. Maybe it won't never leak again, but you never know. Worst case, if it does, we'll just have to order us a new one. So here's the manifold. I'm sure appreciative. I had a friend of a friend tackle this job, and you know who you are. I sure appreciate it. It's a lot better than what I could have done. This is the wrap stuff that I bought. You know, just a added security. But it says it's hard and strong as steel in 20 minutes with heat. We'll see how that's going to work. Now we got to clean these surfaces up where that new gasket will seat well. The old gasket's still on there. It's hard to tell. We got to try to be able to scrape this one off and try to get a new one on. So I'll be back once I can get this all scraped off. Luckily the old one is trying to come off in one piece. It took some prying. We got to get this off and scrape the head. Alright, the new gasket's on. I sprayed it with this copper spray gasket, high temp sealant, just added security, made by Permatex. Now we'll get this manifold bolted back up. Well, we got it set on there. I haven't put the bolts in it yet. Just wanted you to see what it kind of looked like. That's that wrap stuff I put over the weld area. In the instructions it said once it's cured, then you can take that aluminum foil off. We'll see how it works. Let me get this bolted on. I was going to throw out a little tech tip for you. For them hard to reach bolts that's in here, I can't get my big fat fingers in there. Get you a magnet. Stick that on the washer. That the washer will fit. Let's see if I can get y'all in there where you can see. Use a magnet and get your washer in there, and then you can do the same thing with the nut. Get your nut centered up where you can kind of use it to spin. Kind of like that. Stick that down in there. And ever so gracefully try to get that nut started on at least a thread or two. And it ain't wanting to work for me so hard on this round. But you get the idea. Well, let me try to use both hands. I'll be back. There. I finally got it. Alright, we're going to get these tightened up and move on to the next item. Alright, we got our manifold back on. Exhaust pipe hooked back up. Now we're going to get this carburetor hooked up. Alright, carburetor's hooked back up. I got us an old pipe I'm going to try to use for an air intake pipe. See how that works. Let me go get it. So what it is no flex pipe. The guy that I got this tractor from, he had it on an old tractor or something. It was just laying in a junk pile. He said I could have it, so I took it and I'm gonna make it work for now. Worst case, I'll just put a rag over the end of it. He did give me a old 8N oil bath cleaner that I might retrofit to make it work on this Massey. But we're getting one step closer at a time. All my bolts tightened up, tighten them up nice and gently. I didn't hear no cracking or anything of that weld, so I'm hoping that holds. We shall see. I will have to get me something to prop up my fuel line because it's awfully close to that exhaust. And I want it off the air intake as well, since it's coarse. I don't want it rubbing. So I think a zip tie will hold that up pretty decent about right there. Let's see if we can get that done. Well, I found an old shop rag and just using that for a filter now. This filter housing that he gave me, it's a nice housing, but that's how it's got to go on. And of course, the intake hose is on the left side when I need it to be on the right hand side. So that ain't gonna work. We'll have to find us one. Well, we modified the battery area so we can make sure that the battery don't rub against like the fuel tank. We got it hooked up. Turn the fuel back on. I'm hoping I got enough gas in here. It kind of sits nose down. Well, let's see what happens. Let's see if she'll crank up for us. Well, it's been about 3 or 4 weeks since I crunked this thing. So this is going to be a true cold start. Y'all just come along with me and let's see if we can get it running. may not have enough gas in it. Let me put some gas in it. Well, let's see if it'll crank now with a little extra gas in it. Wrap on this carburetor. Alright. Something's going on. So I don't know if it's the cause of it or not, but I took my shop rag and folded it over about 4 times. Maybe it wasn't enough airflow. So I took the rag off and just folded it over 1 time. Now let's see what happens. Seems like that thing just ain't getting fuel. Should be, there's enough gas in it. Well, let me see if I can get her figured out. So once again, I had to adjust the timing a little bit on this distributor. But we got it dialed back in. We're getting a little closer each time. Next, we're going to try to put this hood on it, see if it'll fit, and then go from there. Well, the coil's starting to get a little hot to the touch. I'm going to go ahead and get that wired up through the ballast resistor. So that'll take a little bit. Then we'll get to the hood. Well, we got the hood on it. I put the other hood that we had, the gray one, has a lot of grill damage, and this one has some too, but it's a little better than that gray one. So I think we're gonna take this for a little test spin and see what happens. I've been ready to drive it. It's been a month or 2 coming, but we're gonna get on it. We're gonna try it. Let's just see what happens. Well, to make sure our radiator is clean and flush good, I'm going to throw this off in it. It's got good reviews. Blue Devil radiator flush. I'm just going to pour that in it, and I'm actually going to go use this tractor and try to do its first real job. We'll see how it goes. Bottoms up. Well, I got to clean off my work stand slash grill. I've been told that I'm fixing to grill a few burgers. Hey, growing boys got to eat. Now I got the grill warming up. I'm going to take this cover off. I think y'all can see that down in there. According to my dipstick, it's in the hash marks. But I think all that the previous owner was talking about, I don't think that was rear main seal, because I ain't seen the first leak. I'm thinking that could be the front input shaft on the transmission. Now, with that being possible, I was looking for some AT205 stop leak. I've heard a lot of raving reviews about it. And I went into the store the other day and they didn't have any. And they said this is what's comparable. So I don't know. But we're going to give it a shot. We're going to see if it works. Well, I misspoke. I got that for the engine, and the steering gearbox, as you see, likes to dribble some. We're going to see if that'll work in there. This is what they said was comparable to the AT205. So, we're going to try it. We're going to see, make sure we still ain't got no leaks, but it's just a safeguard, if you will. The instructions said to pour the whole bottle into your crankcase, transmission case, hydraulic reservoir. So let's give it a shot. I mean, it can't hurt nothing. Figure we'll go ahead and do this, and when we go to run this, we'll try to put it through its paces a little more. It should mix pretty well. Alright, so I'm going to pour some of this into the engine crankcase and save a little for that steering gearbox. Maybe about a quarter to half. Put our oil cap back on. Alright, well, I'm going to need 2 hands for this. So I'll be right back. Well, I had to go and make a mess too, you'll see that. Oh well, let me get that cleaned up. This thing's going to get a pressure washing eventually anyway, before we repaint it. So, just look at it as a way of, it's an oil-based product. It's just a rust prevention. Alright, we're going to get our plugs back on. That's tight. Well, we got this grill heated up enough. Clean off everything. Throw these burgers on. Ooh, that thing's hot. Anybody wondering why we throw a hole in them kind of like a donut? They say doing that, they won't swell up and get rounded. I don't know. I've seen it work half a dozen times and I've seen it not work. We'll see. Coming together. Time to eat. Well, I went out there and hooked the little 4-foot bush hog up to this TO20. Got it all situated, and as soon as I got it right close back to the barn to do a little extra work, it started wanting to spitting and sputtering. So I replaced the coil. I got a internally resisted coil because that old ballast resistor was just smoking hot. And then I ran into bad grounds. Just all of a sudden all this stuff started happening. Bad grounds and solenoid not wanting to activate. So I had to trace all that down. And then I took it out there into the field, made a couple of passes with it, and it done okay. It wanted to spit and sputter a little bit. I had to keep tweaking on that carburetor. And then it wanted to start running a little hot. I think that radiator needs to be rotted out, or I'm just going to have to get a new one. I'm going to try to drain it and flush it a couple more times. I did put that flush in there. But we're slowly but surely getting there. We got to continue working some of the kinks and bugs out of it. And then from that point, we're just going to use it probably this summer best we can. And probably hook a hay rake to it. And then maybe later on, we'll try to get some paint on it. But I'm happy with it. Just have a lot of bugs to work out. Well, we're going to wrap this one up right here. I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all like, share, subscribe, and comment, and hit that notification bell. And until next time, y'all have a good one.